Hello my healthy friends, Mike here, the Healthy Type 1. On today's episode of Fad Diets, the paleo diet. The concept of this diet is pretty straightforward with some good suggestions and others that are just absolutely terrible. Essentially, the individual is trying to return back to what our hunter-gatherer ancestors did well before the agricultural revolution. The aim is to ward off most carbs in the form of grains and legumes, processed sugars, that's good, salts, that's good, but all while focusing more on grass-fed meats, fish, eggs, nuts, and seeds. Now, as we know, when a diet recommends you completely remove a known benefit to health, in this case, grains and legumes, you might want to reconsider. Nevertheless, that is not my purpose. For today, I want to share what limited research I could find regarding this diet. Now, let me get one thing abundantly clear. Those hunters and gatherers did something that offsets all the fat and animal protein they were consuming. They actually hunted and gathered, i.e., they moved a shit ton throughout their day. More on that in a moment. But our society has made it so we no longer have to hunt or gather, but simply go to a grocery market and grab pretty much anything to our liking. When individuals no longer move as much throughout their day because of the blessings that we have with food and agriculture, chronic diseases do begin to wreak havoc, as we humans are not designed to ingest that much animal protein, nor that much fat, and move so little. It takes a lot of encouragement to get most individuals at 5,000 steps or more each day. Again, our society and infrastructure makes it this way for most. It is estimated that those hunters and gatherers, depending on their location, their climate, the season, traveled 4 to 10 miles as well as burned a minimum of 800 calories every day. That is almost 5 times that of modern sedentary individuals. Now remember, just because someone burns 500 or more calories in their day from a workout doesn't mean they are physically active. It means they exercised and burned 500 plus calories. And what we do with the other 23 hours out of the day matter more, to be honest. We all need to get up every 30 minutes from sitting, and we need to move our bodies more than just that 30 to 60 minute mark each day. Those are just basic recommendations. Getting 150 minutes of cardio exercise each week is a great milestone to hit, don't get me wrong. But when you combine a diet like this with a sedentary lifestyle, it's an absolute recipe for disaster. Now here's an interesting bit. An article published by the American Association of the Advancement of Science, researchers found a shockingly new discovery with the hunter-gatherer approach. Looking at the oral health of Hadza men living in Tanzania who gather and hunt for their food, i.e. eat a paleo type of diet, 52% of their teeth were infested with cavities. Now keep in mind that this location does not have access to processed foods, nor added salts and sugars. Now, I wanted to dive in a little deeper with this, so I searched for other studies to help support this one. Unfortunately, this was one of the only ones that I could find regarding the matter, so take it with a grain of salt. Pun intended, perhaps. So, to really sum it up, here are some basic guidelines according to Dr. Cordain and some of her medical doctor colleagues. If someone is to follow a paleo type of diet, the individuals must accomplish a large amount of physical activity daily. Light to moderate walking is absolutely required, as these individuals should purposely try to do harder days, follow the next day with a light to moderate activity. For example, it's highly recommended to include intermittent bursts of moderate to high level of intensity with random rest periods during those more difficult days. Virtually all of the exercise should be done outdoors, as vitamin D will help aid in better health outcomes for eating such high amounts of meat and eggs and other animal proteins. Ample amount of sleep is required to promote the best health outcomes, as this is true for any individual. And lastly, if one is to follow the paleo diet, they must get regular checkups with their doctor, as blood work will need to confirm or deny that the diet is actually beneficial to them. Sometimes blood work comes back wonderful and it appears that we are good to go, but just go back once every 6 months to a year to keep an eye and make sure that nothing is actually changing for the worse. Now, we're all different, so be sure to do your own research and find out for yourself if this type of diet is truly worth exploring. So, as always, if you need further explanations, more research, or just someone to talk with about this stuff, drop a message below or shoot me a DM. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Take care of yourselves and help others in any way that you can. Bye-bye now.